Our candle lighting service this year is very different, and I must admit I'm missing seeing everyone. It is the one time of the year where we make the time to come together. I've missed the hugging this year at our monthly meetings. Personal touch is so important, and we don't realise how important until it is no longer available to us. This is usually the time where I request everyone stand up and greet and hug the person standing next to them or behind them or in front of them. So this year we will have to settle for a cyber hug. Our loved ones leave us something when they die, and those are the things we must focus on and delight in. They remind us to love. Mitch Albom so profoundly said, "Have you ever lost someone you love and wanted one more conversation, one more chance to make up for the time when you thought they would be here forever? If so, then you will know that you can go on your whole life collecting days, and none will outweigh the one you wish you had back." I'd like to share this meditation with you, taken from a book called The Grief in Our Seasons, Mourner's Kaddish Companion by Rabbi Kerry M. Olitsky. When you die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Please enjoy our candle lighting. It is brought to you with love.
How do we go on after the unthinkable happens? By John Mark Green. How do we go on after the unthinkable happens? How can we carry the burden of knowing the world can be so cruel and dangerous, the future so unpredictable? How do we grieve with empty arms and a head filled with echoing memories? We are stronger than we know, and this is how we show it, holding each other, giving comfort in the midst of pain, loving more fiercely through our actions and the things we say, making the world just a little better every single day, never taking life for granted, knowing that it can be snatched away. This world may bring deep darkness, but we are the bearers of light. We'll join our flames together and shine in the blackest of nights.
Sometimes. Sometimes I catch a glimpse, in softened waves of blue, my child, my heart. When I see a smile, I can't help but think of you. Sometimes these waves fill oceans, and feelings string on every shore. A collections of each memory, in every way I wish for more. Sometimes I watch for answers, because each day I call to you. I ask for faith and courage, and strength to help me through. Sometimes I ask for bravery, like dolphins in the deep, because time moves oh so slowly, and sometimes the road is steep. Sometimes I want to scream, this was not what I had planned. Why you ever suffered, a dad can't understand. Sometimes I hear your laughter and remember you at play. But my child, I always miss you, not sometimes, but every day.
Who you'd be today. Sunny days seem to hurt the most. I wear the pain like a heavy coat. I feel you. Everywhere I go, I see your smile, I see your face. I hear you laughing in the rain. I still can't believe you're gone. It isn't fair, you died too young, like a story that had just begun. But death tore the pages all away. God knows how I miss you, all the hell that I've been through, just knowing no one could take your place. Sometimes I wonder who you'd be today. Would you see the world? Would you chase your dreams? Settle down with a family? I wonder, what would you name your babies? Some days the sky's so blue, I feel like I can talk to you. It isn't fair, you died. Too young, like a story that had just begun. But death tore the pages all away. God knows how I miss you, all the hell that I've been through, just knowing no one could take your place. Sometimes I wonder who you'd be today. Sunny days seem to hurt the most. I wear the pain like a heavy coat. The only thing that gives me hope is I know I'll see you again someday.
Grandparents grieve too. Some people may forget grandparents grieve too. They watch their children grieve and don't know what to do. They try to make things better, but sometimes it makes it worse. Their grandchild should be driven home, not driven in a hearse. They have not just lost a grandchild, they have watched their child in pain. They hold it all together, but their grief isn't the same. To see your child hurting for the child they have lost. They want to take the pain away from those they love the most. They speak words of encouragement from their wise words of wisdom. In turn, you will get stronger and your child not forgotten. Sometimes they might not show us the pain we want them to, but I assure you they are hurting just as much as you. but themselves as a parent feel they must stay strong. Their own child is grieving, and the process is long. It's not a case of taking months, it's a case of taking years. But every step along the way, they'll be there to wipe your tears. By Natalie Calvert.
I joined this community of bereaved parents 2 years ago. December 2018, when we lost our 17-year-old son Justin in a car accident. In the past 2 years, I've been to the depths of despair, to the darkest places of my soul. From pain, anger, and anguish to questioning even whether I could or even wanted to carry on. I would think many of us know those places. The raw pain of the first year drifted into the second, harder in that everyone and everything else seemingly had moved on, but also when glimpses of light, green shoots of hope, started to break through. Moments when a memory could be shared with less pain and sadness, and a little start of celebrating that he was alive rather than just that he had died. Tonight I want to share a little I have learned from my own journey and from those who I've met along the way, in the hope that maybe something will resonate or maybe even bring some comfort to you. I want to talk a bit about finding hope in despair. The two words are complete opposites. Despair means that all hope is lost, but hope means there is something positive to look forward to, a future that might include some kind of happiness. Hope means that we are not just going through the motions of life, but we must have some kind of vision of the future. Note that I am talking about hope in despair, hope with despair, not hope replacing despair. Not happiness replacing sadness, but rather that both can exist together, side by side. This is our new normal, a term which you've probably heard along your journey, but really I want to say there's nothing normal about our new normal. There is nothing normal about burying your child, no matter what their age. The term does, however, correctly tell us that the rest of life is going to be different, that things will never be the same, that we will never be the same, and perhaps it is much a new you as a new normal. 4 months after our son had died, we spent a few nights camping at one of his favorite places. At the campsite, my wife and I were approached by a lady who had also lost her son in an accident, but 34 years ago. There is something that connects bereaved parents to each other. This lady told us that not a day goes by without her thinking about her child, and she still has tears to shed. The new you has to accept that just as love never dies, we will grieve a lifetime, that there is no end to this journey or closing of the chapter. About a year ago, I spoke with another bereaved parent about the sense of loss and how it was like losing a limb and being disabled. If you lose your leg or arm, you never forget you once had it, and sometimes you will even feel it, your brain for a moment forgetting that it is gone. And the analogy continues in that if you lose a limb, you will suffer anguish at the things you can no longer do, and maybe some of your goals or plans will be seemingly over. But also when you lose a limb, you will slowly start to find ways to cope. If you lose a limb, this will be an active process and won't just happen by accident. You will have to accept the new you, the one without an arm or a leg, accepting that some things will never be the same, but you will find a way to go on, to find that new you. And so it is with our grief. We will always feel the loss of our children, siblings or grandchildren. We might even feel at times like they are still with us. But we can also learn to find a new you, one that is different, but one that can survive. So perhaps we need to stop trying to be better in the sense of reclaiming who we were before our child died. That person and that normal are gone forever. Whilst time does soften the intensity of emotions, it does not heal all wounds, and learning to live with our grief is an active process. It is not rebuilding, but building anew. Building a new you. And then starting to create hope, a new vision for the future, for the new you that holds both hope and grief. Some of us maybe have gone on a new journey of self-discovery. Maybe the new you has a different purpose in their life. Some bereaved parents talk about the pointlessness of the things that used to seem so important. The new you might find new ways to honor your child, to make them proud. For some it might be a new approach to people, a new commitment to your family, a new traditions, a new career, a new relationship with your religion, or just a new sense of who you are. For those newly bereaved, it might seem hard to believe, but the new you, carved out of the passage of time and the depth of grief, one day will be able to remember the smiles and the fun without the overwhelming sadness. Can celebrate the life that was without being overcome by the death. That still breaks us down and cries, but also gets up again. The new you is created by not avoiding the grief, but by engaging with it, accepting it as our companion for the rest of our journey. The new you is created by keeping your child alive, by telling their stories, sharing their pictures and treasuring their memories, by crying, but also by smiling. The new you is created by caring and sharing with others on the same road. Most importantly, the new you begins by accepting that there is a new you, that we can hold both grief and hope, both tears and smiles. For those far on this journey, I hope that you have found the new you, and I hope you can share it with us. For those newly bereaved, I hope that through the despair you will start to see some light, that from the ruins you'll be able to build anew, that from the old you, a new you will emerge, one that never forgets, one that remembers happiness and not just sorrow, one that sees some hope, and one of which our children will be proud. As we head into the holiday period, our loss will undoubtedly feel more acute. I challenge you to embrace your grief, but also to create something new, perhaps a new tradition, something that you make you remember, but also smile. And lastly, remember, you are not alone.
As we come to the end of this first ever virtual candle lighting ceremony, we would like to acknowledge and thank the team who have put this together, and to be able to connect with you at this time of remembering our beloved children, grandchildren, and the siblings who have passed on over the years. None of this would have been possible without the expertise and enthusiasm of our team leader, Graham West. And on behalf of TCF, we say a big thank you, Graham, for all that you have done to bring this to our members today. This year is so different to previous years, but we would encourage you to light a candle at this time to the memory of our children, grandchildren, and siblings, knowing that many others will be doing the same in their own home this evening. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Alelizwe ayosalema